Gary Johnson then, pre-Morecambe away. Gary, when we last spoke, obviously it was off the back of the final pre-season game. How has this week's training gone in terms of trying to put things right and lift the morale?
They've gone well as far as that's concerned, I think. We've had, obviously the last week, you put in a few more sharp sessions. You know, the long runs are done. I think we played a couple of teams in the space of a short space of time in Bristol City and Peterborough that were quite lively. We've got to try and produce the first half performances in both games for 90 minutes because in both games we didn't finish very well and the opposition finished better than us. So we've done a lot of, we had a meeting and everybody felt that it was just a sharpness and you know, we did a lot of sharpness anyway, a lot of sharp football, and I think they're all looking forward to it now and looking forward to the first game of the season.
And have you noticed a difference in the mood because you know this week's game is competitive and there are 3 points at stake?
Yeah, I mean you notice the change in the mood when you bring them in on the Sunday and you try and put right what happened on the Saturday, and although they don't like coming in on the Sunday, you can at least sort things out before the Monday, and then Monday's a new day, and that's when everybody's come in. You know, I've told them my gripes, they've told me theirs, and we can discuss it, sort it out on the Sunday, and then it's all forgotten and ready to go. And I think they're all looking forward to the Morecambe game, and obviously the Oxford game as well, because that's one to look forward to. So it's you know, they're all still fighting for places in the first 11, even though we haven't yet got the full squad that I would like.
Injuries and illness, how are Kevin Dawson, Danny Wright and Jarrell Sellers?
Jarrell's fine, Danny Wright's fine, Grimesy had a bit of the sniffles a couple of days ago, but he's fine now. Dawson would just leave to the last minute because he's getting there and he's very, very nearly there, so obviously I'll have a chat with the medical department today, tomorrow, and we'll decide whether he's involved or not.
And as you said, your squad building's still got a little way to go. Any possible movement in before Saturday?
I don't think so, but you never know. It's only Thursday, so this stage of the season, anything can happen, and it generally does.
Not even mentioned Morecambe yet. How difficult is it for the first game of the season to do your homework on how a team's going to line up and who's going to be where?
Well, it's not difficult as such, but it's one where you want to be right by everyone, you want to be fair to everyone. You've got a vision in your head as a manager and my staff as to how we want to play and who best fits what role. People have got to be happy in that role. Some people are construed that they could be slightly out of position, but the players don't feel that. And I can tell by their certainly their first half performances in both our last two games that they're happy with their lot at the moment, and hopefully we can put it together. It's a new group and we can put it together very quickly.
In terms of doing the homework on the opposition and how they might line up, how difficult is that? Because obviously, first game of the season, you've got not a lot to go on.
No, but we've got our scouts, and I'm sure Morecambe have got their scouts, and they would have seen the best and the worst of us, and we've probably seen the best and worst of them as well. So from pre-season, we've got enough information. We're good at that. We'll put the information out to the boys, and we know that they've got strengths and weaknesses, and they'll know that, or they'll think that we have as well. So we've had enough information on them to not make that an excuse that we didn't know how they were going to play or who they might play.
How important is a good start to the season? Of just sort of, if you can get a win, does that just sort of change everything? And almost what's happened in pre-season becomes forgotten in some ways.
Well, it's forgotten now. We finished pre-season now. We're into the league, and very important to answer the question, that you get a good start. A good start, you have to look back over 10, the first 10 games. If you lose the first game, it's a bad start, but it's not a disaster, because you look at it over periods of 10 games. But of course, if you win that first game, then you're in credit always for the next one, then the next one, etc., etc. So we had a slow start last year and finished okay in the second half of the season. We picked up more points in the second half of the season when we made the changes. So hopefully we can hit the ground running, and every team at this moment in time, every team's manager will be thinking that they've got to get a result in this first game, because confidence, all that sort of thing, but half of them won't.
Thank you, good luck.
No problem.
Gary, do you think it's obviously a long month to come now in August? Do you think it'll be quite a lot going on right to the end of the window, or do you want to get everything sorted out as early as you can in August?
Well, listen, you know me, I wanted to get it sorted out on July the 1st when we came back, but this season's been a particularly difficult one, really, with people that we had in mind, that we ended up, they ended up doing so well pre-season that the clubs have kept them. We've had a couple of other little things go on, and but we've arrived now, and we haven't got to stop our dealings until the end of August. So we've still got that time, but I'd love to have everybody in now. But as it turns out, we're still 3 or 4 players short.
Yeah, you did get some in quite early, didn't you? I think you signed 7 new players plus Josh Thomas, and the 7 were all in before the first friendly. Yeah,
they were, and that was good. And I think I think people have seen that they've all got qualities. We just got to be a bit more consistent as a group, and then we need to keep adding to that. There's a lot of clubs don't like to lose their players until the start of the season if they're going to loan them out, for instance, because they need them for the games in pre-season. We'll keep dealing as and when we're within the window.
Yeah, there were 20 players in the team photo on Monday. Is that similar number to what you want, or do you want a couple more, or do you think there'll be players going and coming to make it still 20?
I haven't got a figure in my head. It's just making sure you've got enough good players to, first of all, and a good squad that creates competition with each other. You've got to try and get the competition where a player knows that if he doesn't perform, or he splits his dummy out for some reason, or he finds a poor form, then he's got someone else that can easily take his place, and that competition will create better results, because everybody will be trying to get in the team. So that's really where I want to be. I just want to have enough, and it's normally around about 20. It could be 21, 22, or it could be sort of 18 if some of your younger lads are good enough to come into the squad. So we're having a good look at it, but as I say, we still need a bigger squad. I'm happy with my group that's going to start at Morecambe, but we just need more numbers because of the number of games we're going to be playing.
Yeah, and you did mention that you might be looking to move players out if they're not going to be in the team due to the size of the squad. Have you spoken, because you said last time we spoke to you, haven't spoken to anyone about that. Have you told any players that they might be going?
No, I haven't. I was putting it out there because we knew, everyone's got a salary cap and everybody's got a budget, and all I said was that some people might have to move out. Now that might be, you might have to sell somebody, do you know what I mean? And it might be that somebody's not going to get a game, or realises he's not going to get a game, and then needs to move on. So it was sort of like a matter of fact that, of course, that's going to happen as you bring people in. People may have to go out, and sometimes that's the way you have to do it, even though boards of directors prefer people to go out before you get in. Otherwise, if you can't get out when you're getting in, you've got too many players around. So, but anyway, it's that's something that we got to deal with. But at this moment in time, every one of the lads knows that they're part of what we're doing at the moment. Now, if that changes, they know there's that sort of threat there that people are going to be coming in. So I'm hoping that'll liven people up rather than demoralise them.
Yeah. Cheers, Gary.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
All right.